We're in need of some really good news for Galaxy viewers. It's been tough lately. Papa Palpatine, rest in peace, guys. But finally, we're getting some cool stuff happening with our kickoff for the Clone Wars stuff for this quarter, being the General Kenobi rework, as well as Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. What we got today is pretty much the kit information for what they're doing to these three characters. And I gotta say, overall, some of these characters have some minor things. Ahsoka Tano is gonna have the most in-depth rework. She hasn't really been that useful ever in the game. Then when we go to General Kenobi, he's gonna be getting a ZETA. And as you can tell, not much is changing with General Kenobi because he is a character that has stood the test of time and to this day is still a very good character, but they're trying to tweak him a little bit to bring him up to snuff, as well as make him synergize well with Anakin, Snips, as well as the rest of the Galactic Republic. Let's first talk about General Kenobi, because I never thought we'd see today where he'd even get a minor rework, especially a ZETA, and they didn't change much. The basic is still going to do what it did before. He grants foresight, deals double damage if everyone has buffs, and the Negotiator is where we see our first few changes. Now, I know they highlighted this right here, but this is the same as before. He still switches buffs, debuffs to buffs for 2 turns. They just changed the wording a little bit, and instead of 50% turn meter being gained like before, Kenobi will be getting 60% turn meter. As you see right here, it was 2 turns before, it's 2 turns after, but instead of saying buffs for 2 turns if any, it's buffs if any for 2 turns. So they just kind of played up the wording a little bit there. And lead the charge is where we're going to start seeing some synergy, minor stuff between Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. One of the great things about lead the charge is you call everyone to assist, which was kind of breaking at one point in the game. And the new thing is that Jedi Knight Anakin and Ahsoka Tano are not affected by the damage penalty, because when you assist off Kenobi, you would deal 30% less damage from this ability. But if Anakin and Ahsoka Tano are here, they are not going to get the 30% damage reduction, so they're going to do the full amount of damage without this 30% being knocked off. And we don't quite know the damage multiplier numbers. One part of a rework is, besides the textual changes of the kit, they also can change the code and alter the numbers as to how much damage they can do, because really at this point, Kenobi, Anakin, and Ahsoka, they don't really do crazy damage right now. Leadership is still the same, all the Jedi and clone synergy that we expected before, and the new thing is a ZETA that is going to be slapped on Kenobi's unique ability, and it's really just specific to Galactic Republic. If all allies are Galactic Republic, General Kenobi taunts for 1 turn whenever another Galactic Republic ally loses protection up. So it's not going to be good for a team that's a mixed. It's not good for a mixed bag team where you have some Rebellion, you got some Galactic Republic, and then you got some other mishmash of characters, and it has to be a full team of Galactic Republic on the field. So he's going to pretty much taunt more frequently and be just he's already taunting a lot in the game. Now pretty much double that if you're doing a Galactic Republic team, I'd assume. So of course, nothing out of this world impressive, because you got to be careful, because Jedi Knight Revan is just starting to fall off his throne. I mean, he is off the throne, but he just fell off the throne kind of recently, and Kenobi was a cornerstone character to that Jedi Knight Revan team. So the changes they did here won't impede a Jedi Knight Revan team. They're not going to become weaker. Kenobi will still be an important character for Jedi Knight Revan, but at the same time, they're not going to drastically change the elements of Jedi Knight Revan. So he's pretty much going to be the same exact thing, because if, for example, if the ZETA applied the Jedi, that could be really deadly if protection up would keep falling, because Yoda grants protection up to the crew. This could be deadly in a Jedi Knight Revan team, but because it's constrained to just Galactic Republic, I don't suspect Kenobi's gonna pretty much be the same exact character in the Jedi Knight Revan team, unless they tweak the numbers where he has more protection, more health, more damage. We don't see that right here. Now, next up, Jedi Knight Anakin. Fun fact: this character did get a rework way back when, and it wasn't really that good of a rework. And kind of like Kenobi, we got some minor things and some text changes that really don't change too much with the character. The first thing we're going to see is deft blade work. You're going to deal physical damage to a target enemy with an 80% chance to inflict healing immunity and buff immunity. I'm glad they're keeping that on, because healing is a lot. It's very prominent in the game right now, so it's really good that they kept that. And they just pretty much increased the percent chance as to how often it will occur. As you see here, very minor change, went from 70% to 80%, so just pretty much a 10% gain they tossed right onto that. So nothing too drastic. Again, very minor things, because who knows, maybe they're setting the stage for a bigger picture thing for Galactic Republic and Clone Troopers, perhaps, that they don't want to make these characters too powerful, because they might be needed for other types of reworks that they're planning out in the future. And next thing we have is Overpowering Assault. Before it was called Reckless Assault, now they changed it to Overpowering Assault, and now it's got a couple little things going on. Besides dealing physical damage to all enemies, you're going to grant all allies offense up and critical chance up for 2 turns, and then for each enemy critically hit, he grants protection up 10%, stacking to each Galactic Republic ally for 1 turn. And this attack can't be evaded. So besides Yoda spreading stuff like that, now we're going to have Anakin spreading that as well, which keeps stacking up. So it's kind of, I mean, it's virtually limitless potentially. And also a great thing about this, they took out the whole stupid thing where he has a chance to expose himself for 2 turns. So they took out that. So now it's not going to be a drawback of an ability. Basically, all positive stuff happening from this ability, no risk. That was one of the downsides of Anakin before, is that there was a risk associated with it, and you only had a 25% chance to gain offense up for 2 turns, and now it's just guaranteed offense up and critical chance for 2 turns, and then you add the whole protection stacking ability to each Galactic Republic ally, and the fact that it can't be evaded, that's a good thing. Foresight's such a popular mechanic, so at least with this, now you can't evade Anakin's massive attack. And this attack, I remember when Bastila Shan got her, when she came into the game, I remember with Anakin, he was doing like 40,000 damage with his AoE, and that's what Bastila last July. So I'm kind of curious to see if the damage multipliers change, or this is going to be even a deadlier attack. Regardless, way better than what he had before. Leader ability, nothing changed besides some wording things. Before it was called always on the offensive, now it's called on the offensive, and they just added some textual things. Have a plus sign in front of the 30, a plus sign in front of the 20%, and then another have in there. So same exact thing as before. It wasn't the craziest leader ability in the game, and it's still not going to be that crazy of a leader ability, but seeing that we're going to be entering a Geonosis territory battle, having every good, decent leader for the Galactic Republic is probably going to be helpful. And then lastly, we have his unique ability, Righteous Fury. So no Zeta, it seems, over on Anakin Skywalker. A little bit unfortunate. I was kind of hoping for it, but that's kind of a good thing perhaps. Maybe without a Zeta on him, he's going to be kind of like Cad Bane, where Cad Bane doesn't need a Zeta, but at the same time, you know, not having a Zeta means he's going to be a good character without it. So that's what I'm hoping for. And the main thing they changed, instead of saying Anakin gains 100% Terminator when someone falls under 50% health or is defeated, they call take a bonus turn. So basically kind of like Malik, he's just going to jump up and want to take his turn right away, and instead of 75% more damage, he's going to deal 100% more damage. So that AoE ability, Overpowering Assault, that could be quite deadly. But let's move on to Ahsoka Tano, where she is going to have the most significant changes compared to Anakin and General Kenobi. They even changed her little description. Now she's a versatile attacker who constantly assists while healing and dispelling, and the basic ability right here, a lot more green than the other 2 characters, because she, out of all these characters, was definitely the most outdated and not as useful. But even when she got her rework with Anakin Skywalker, she really wasn't all that crazy. Now she can attack an enemy and dispel all buffs on them, and then on a critical hit, she dispels all debuffs on herself and another random Galactic Republic ally. And this attack can't be evaded if the target had foresight. So we're seeing a lot of anti-foresight stuff going on. Anakin's AoE ability, on her basic, it can't be evaded if there's foresight. So it's not that it can't be evaded all the time. It's only if there's foresight it can't be evaded. So they're getting very specific with their wording. All right, and this looks like a really fun ability, Protective Maneuver, and a lot different than before. And again, they're baking in some Jedi Knight Anakin and Kenobi stuff, because that was the main trio in the Clone Wars TV show. Really fun. Let's read it real quick. Deal physical damage to a target enemy, and here's where the fun things happen. If Jedi Knight Anakin or Kenobi is an ally, deal damage again. If both are allies, you deal damage a 3rd time. So this is going to attack a 3rd time, 3 times in total. And if the ally is a Galactic Republic leader, then this attack deals 50% more damage, and all allies recover 20% health, and all Galactic Republic allies gain protection up 20% for 1 turn. So again, this looks like a very protection up heavy focused team so far, and that's where that Kenobi Zeta will come in handy, because a lot of times this protection up is going to drop off, whether from Anakin, whether from Yoda, whether from Ahsoka Tano. And then unique, the Daring Padawan, this has a Zeta, which is curious because Anakin Skywalker, unless there's some sort of text issue going on here, no Zeta on Anakin Skywalker, it seems. But overall, here we have a lot of stuff going on. Ahsoka Tano has plus 40% max health, plus 10% evasion, and plus 10% critical chance, and plus 25 speed. And these values are doubled while she has critical hit immunity. And we know Kenobi spams critical hit immunity on his team. So this is probably going to happen quite a lot. And if Jedi Knight Anakin is an ally, Ahsoka gains critical hit immunity for 2 turns at the start of each encounter and whenever she uses a special ability. And this is fun. If the allied leader is Galactic Republic, Ahsoka is called to assist whenever another Galactic Republic ally uses a special ability. So when Anakin uses his overpower ability, or when Kenobi uses his cleanse, or uses his mass assist, you can expect Ahsoka to keep coming in for tons of assists. It's kind of like how Echo works for the clones, when Echo kind of keeps assisting over and over again off the clones. Ahsoka Tano, she's going to assist quite a lot, and when she's assisting, remember what the basic does. You're going to dispel buffs, you're going to also cleanse debuffs on Ahsoka and another random Republic ally, and the fact that it can't be evaded. So you have a lot of cool stuff going on here. Ahsoka Tano, it's kind of funny. I find her to be the most impressive changes out of all these other guys that we have here. Kenobi, he's getting that little touch-up that he always needed. He's not going to break the game, because if you rework Kenobi too good, it can break the game, especially if Jedi Knight Revan just kind of being on the cusp of wanting to become #1 again. But that's going to be kind of it for today. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on these 3 characters. We no information as to when the Geonosis territory battle is going to drop just yet, but overall, I'm excited. If we're just getting started here, and if I hear correctly from all these interviews and stuff that's out there, I'm going to make a video about it soon. It seems like maybe we'll get some other reworks for maybe the Geonosians, the Separatists, maybe some other stuff like that, and then the clones and some more Jedi. I'm excited. This is my bread and butter. This is my type of content. Let me know down below if you like this stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are on the kit, these kit reworks, and like if you did enjoy it. And be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, because a lot of stuff is probably heading our way soon. And we will talk again very, very soon.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down.